Hi, my name's Christopher Kirksick. I'm a commercial insurance advisor with McClatchy Insurance Agency, and we're here today talking with Dan Loesch of DLC. Dan, what can you tell me about workers' comp in your experience, and what are you seeing in as far as workers' comp from your end of things?
Besides being required by the state of California, it's a really critical insurance because it covers your employees whenever there's an issue of they get hurt on a job site, any expenses that are related to that. It's very important that your contractor has that insurance because the homeowner could be on the hook for those expenses, meaning their homeowner's policy could really raise those premiums up if there's a claim. So we want to make sure that when we vet our contractors, we're seeing if they have workers' compensation insurance. Now, there are some times where the contractor may be exempt. If they're a single employee, they don't have any other employees. But for a larger project, you're most likely going to hire a contractor with many employees. So it's very critical you have that insurance. In our experience, it's been very expensive to have that insurance. When we first started, our policies were almost 30 cents on the dollar per hour of what you're hiring your employee for. Meaning that if it's a $100 an hour employee, you're spending another $30 an hour on that guy's employment. So it's come down in years past. We're roughly a third of that now because we've had good safety practices and we haven't had any claims. So because of that, it's gone down considerably and we can be more competitive in our market. But you're going to notice a lot of contractors don't have that insurance and they're able to be a little more competitive. Their price is going to be significantly lower than the other contractors, but it's very critical that they carry that insurance.
Well, you mentioned your premium has come down due to your safe practices. And so a lot of carriers do give you discounts for having safe business practices, regular safety meetings, designating a safety officer. If you offer health insurance to your employees, that will get you a potential discount.
Well, we've recently got an X-Mod, what's called an X-Mod. It's a modification and it's reduced our rates significantly. Can you tell me how that works?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So an X-Mod is when you've existed claims free for a time period, the carrier will give you what's called an X-Mod. It's a modification to your base rate. And that's a good thing. As long as you maintain a safe work environment and you don't have any workers' comp claim, you're going to continue to get that X-Mod. And that's fantastic. We love to work with contractors that have X-Mods because it shows us that they're committed to providing a safe work environment for their employees. I wanted to mention it's important for homeowners to know or to request the folks that they're working around the house to make sure that they are insured, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you mentioned it, they don't have workers' comp. It could potentially fall onto their homeowner's policy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, most homeowners policies do have a workers' comp endorsement, but that's for, their maid that comes once a week or the gardener that does.
Yeah, these premiums are 8 times what those premiums are.
Absolutely, yeah. So yeah, Dan, it's important for people that hire people that come work for their house to make sure that they have proper insurance, right? We always advise our clients to make sure that people that they're hiring to do work around their house have general liability policy and a workers' comp. A lot of times we hear, well, doesn't my homeowner's insurance policy have a workers' comp endorsement? And absolutely, most of them do, but that's going to cover for your weekly maid service or your weekly gardener. It's not intended to provide coverage for multitude of workers out here doing at sometimes dangerous.
Yeah,
work.
and by all means, because if you look at, let's say, a workers' comp policy or any policy, right? The higher the risk, the higher the premiums. So our workers' comp policy may be 20 cents on the dollar for what you pay an employee, 30 cents, 10 cents. For an office employee, that's a fraction of a penny.
Absolutely.
Right? So there's different risks. So you're talking about 10 to 20 times the amount of risk for what we do on someone's house. So you're going to want to look at all the paperwork from that contractor. You can request that from them. You can also look at cslb.ca.gov and you can check your contractor's license number. And on there, it'll actually say their workers' compensation policy number and who they got it from. So you can check on it. That way you can also see if the policy is expired.
Right.
So very critical to do your due diligence when you hire a contractor. And we'll go ahead and add that in the comments. We'll put the website, cslb.ca.gov. You can go and check on your contractor there.
Great advice.